Hey everyone, welcome back to the Distinct Mastering YouTube channel. My name is Freddie, and today we're going to talk about compression. I realize I haven't really spoken much about what compression is on this channel, so let's get right into it. Today we're going to give you an overview on compression, what it is, when to use it, how to use it, and more. And one of the things about compression is I suggest if you're a beginner, don't use it. You really need to try to study it. It's one of the hardest things for your ears to learn how to listen for. But it is a great tool. So compression is used to control the dynamics of a signal. There's basically two types of compression. The most typical one is downward compression, where it's used to tame the peaks of a signal, aka the dynamic range. So you're able to turn the quieter parts of the signal up while turning the louder parts down or evening them out, basically giving you a louder signal overall and a more tame signal. On the flip side, upward compression will give you the opposite effect. It will basically turn the quiet parts louder in relation to the loudest parts of that signal. So you might be asking, well, how does it work and what is it used for? So I've got a Pro Tools session opened up here and I just recorded my vocals, and as you can see, there's some pretty loud parts. Let's go ahead and play this for you. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack and the release and what they do, and more. Let's begin. Okay, so I've got 4 tracks here, and first I'm going to route this into this compressor 1. And what I want to show you is I'm going to just duplicate this a few times so we have this. Let's just make 3 of these so I can just use these as prints. And I want to show you how this is affecting the waveform. When I first got a compressor, it was a hardware unit, so I was able to see kind of on LEDs how the compressor was reacting to the incoming signal, and it really helped me understand what the controls were doing. In the digital world these days, I feel like there's really not anything showing visually what's happening to the signal, so we're going to create that with the waveform display. Okay, I've got the basic DigiDesign compressor pulled up. This is the Avid standard compressor. I thought it was a really easy one to look at. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what some of the controls do. So first of all, you have your metering here, and the main control that you want to pay attention to is the ratio. And I had it set all the way up, which is basically turning it into a limiter. But what this means is at 1-to-1 ratio, it means nothing happens. 1 decibel comes in, 1 decibel comes out. That's no change in signal. At 2-to-1, if I were to go ahead and put 2-to-1, then 2 decibels come in, 1 decibel comes out, and vice versa. At 10-to-1, if I just go ahead and put 10 decibels come in, 1 decibel comes out. That's pretty heavy compression. And like I said, once you get about 50-to-1 or 100-to-1, you're pretty much setting yourself up for limiting. And the difference between a limiter and a compressor, though, is you have a little bit more control of how quickly the compressor reacts, which is the attack time, and how quickly the compressor lets go, which is the release time. The threshold here is when the compressor is going to kick in. So you see the little triangle moving up and down as it's being adjusted. And if I hit play, you can see that there's a lot of compression going on because the threshold is so low. And if I move it up, there's no compression going on. So as you can see, now I'm getting a little compression, and if I turn this up, I'm going to get more compression. I can get a quicker attack or a slower attack, and I'm going to demonstrate what the attack and release do shortly. The one thing you want to know about the knee is it's basically how hard the compressor will react. So basically, as you move this knee up, the compression will get softer as it's being triggered. Harder is going to just make it more abrupt, and that's what you need to know about the knee. So there's a nice way to get, a little bit more musical with your compressor. If you have some heavy percussions or drums going on, you might want a harder knee with heavy transients. If you've got something with a little less softer, instruments that have a softer incoming signal with less transients, then you might want a softer knee. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to set the attack down and the release down, and we're going to set the compressor ratio to, say, 4:1. And we're going to go ahead and leave the knee at 0. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the threshold, and I'm going to go ahead and record this. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack and the release and what they do, and more. Let's begin. So as you can see with this setting here, I've pretty much tamed all of those transients because the attack is set very low, but the release is very fast. So the compressor is just going to come in and come out. Once those levels of that threshold are hit, it's just going to release. It's only at a 5 millisecond release. That's very fast. So this compression essentially is going to be taming the peaks and making my vocals sound more even in volume, and that's where you can then gain it up if you wanted to. You know, you could gain it up here on the compressor itself, or you could gain it later with a gain plugin, however you decide you wanted to do that. That's kind of the point of controlling the dynamics. This is your basic downward compression. Let's try this again with a bit slower of an attack. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. At 3.8 milliseconds, I don't even need to play anymore. You can see, I gained that up. Let's bring that back to 0. That's throwing you off. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. So at 3.8 milliseconds, it's not doing anything. It's barely hitting. So let's go somewhere down in the middle. Not even in the middle. Let's go to 70. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. So now we're getting something a little bit more tame, but probably a little bit more natural sounding, but I want to lift up the release. Let's go for a long release. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. So you can see it's just barely hitting. What the threshold and the ratio do. It's just slowly coming out because I have such a long release. 4 seconds. This would almost be considered more of a glue when you've got something going on like this, because you've got a really fast attack and a really slow release. So that's a nice tactic. Another way to do a glue would be do the total opposite, slow attack, fast release. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. And with this type of compressor, I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do. So let's try to bring this down and down. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack, and watch this. Let's do this and lower. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. So you can hear my voice is getting hit harder. What the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack and the release and what they do, and more. Now, if you really want to hear compression, let's really boost this and go for it again. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack and the release. But that sounds a little unnatural, and that's not what you want when you're trying to set compressors. Obviously, the ratio is huge, and I'm not looking to compress that much when I'm recording vocals or printing. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio. So here you can see I've got an attack of 62.3 and a release of 209, and I've tamed this waveform. I've got a gain of 6.9. It looks controlled. It's obviously these quiet parts are a lot louder, and that is how you can get the dynamics controlled in some of your instruments. Now, you don't want to over compress, because if you do, you can cause some problems. And you're going to lose all the dynamics, and your music's going to sound unnatural. So I recommend, once again, if you don't know about compression, you need to study it, you need to practice using it, and you need to play with it. There are some advanced features here called the sidechain features, where you can sidechain the compressor in with another input, say a kick drum or another instrument. Maybe you've got two conflicting instruments fighting against each other. That's getting a little bit beyond the basics of compression, so I'm not going to include all of that in this video. I wanted to give you a general overview of different compression settings. So here's what we're going to do next. Just so you can get a visual example of what's going on, we're going to do a fast. We're going to do a fast. We're going to do a slow. Name that slow. We'll do this medium. And we'll do this one more like a glue. Okay, so just to give you an example of what compressors can be doing at different settings, I'm going to show you something. This first one is going to be labeled fast, and we're going to print this as a fast knee. We'll do a hard compression, 10-to-1, fast release. Let's make sure the threshold is set good. Okay, and we'll turn the gain down. I'll turn it up to 3. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack and the release and what they do, and more. That's all we need. Let's copy this down here. And now what we'll do is we'll do everything slower. It's going to be too long going that way, so let's do like 2 milliseconds, bring the release down. Let's leave everything the same. We'll take the knee slower. Whoops. And then what I want to do is I want to turn this on here. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I want to feed this in. Okay, I want to feed this into compressor 2 and go for it. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack and the release and what they do, and more. So as you can see with this setting, I have a little bit more of the peaks still coming through. That may or may sound more natural. Just depends on what you're going for or what you need to control. If you've got some heavy drums and very percussive elements with sharp transients, this slow of an attack is probably not going to work for you. But you might want that to pierce through, so that's why it's important to understand what these controls do. Let's go ahead and now feed this same vocal into the third one. And from this one, what I want to do is I want to do a medium style compression. I kind of want to meet in the middle there. Let's go like 26 and maybe do an attack of like, actually not even meet in the middle. I want to slow the attack. Yeah, let's do 204. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. And with this one now, I want to do more of a medium, kind of meet in the middle here. We'll take the knee back down and we'll just go for that. So let's hit record and let's just make sure I'm feeding compressor 3. That's correct. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack and the release and what they do, and more. So as you can see here, we've still retained the same, visually, we've got a little bit of these transients tamed down in comparison to this one. And so it's got more of the peaks. It's got a little bit more of the dynamic range. And if I were to... My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to... My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering. My name is Freddie from Distinct... As you go back and forth, because I was playing all of them at once before. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to... So here's this one. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you... This one seems like it lost its luster a little bit. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering. This fast one sounds a little unnatural. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. And the medium one sounds kind of overall the best. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. This one doesn't sound bad. They all sound pretty good. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to... This one sounds a little squashed. So hopefully this is giving you a visual representation of what's actually happening under the hood with compressors. Let's go ahead and send this one over to compressor 4. And I'm going to see if there is... We're going to do a bit more of a glue type setting. So we'll set the knee to slow, hit record here. I'm going to just go ahead and do a very light ratio. And I'm going to do a fast attack, slow release. Let's go this way. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. And once again, it's not even hitting because it's. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold. Let's try this. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and today we're going to talk about compression. I'm going to show you what the threshold and the ratio do, how to set the attack and the release and what they do. So as you can see, the glue is kind of just taming the transients from the original, but preserving some of the stuff after, but also keeping the release a little bit longer. I mean, you can play around with these things. I've seen some great glue compressors that have slow attacks and quick releases and vice versa, fast attacks, long releases that can give you some interesting characteristics. And so these are the basic building blocks of compression that you need to understand to start playing around and using compression in different settings. If you have any questions about this video, please shoot me a comment down below. Thanks again for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and the bell notification will keep you up to date. Once again, my name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and I help people master their music. And if you're a first-time potential client and you'd like a free stereo mastered sample, please check the link down below. Thank you very much.